Welcome to Deuteronomy, a book of remembrance, renewal, and deep covenant love. As Israel stands on the edge of the Promised Land, Moses delivers a series of final messages that will shape their future for generations. And on day 48, the journey through Deuteronomy begins, inviting us to hear the heart of a God who calls his people to live in faith, obedience, gratitude, and wholehearted love. Traditionally attributed to Moses, Deuteronomy captures the wisdom of a leader at the end of his life. Israel has wandered for 40 years, and now a new generation prepares to step into the land their parents never entered. This book, in one sentence, Deuteronomy calls God's people to remember his faithfulness, obey his covenant, and choose life as they walk into their destiny. The book opens on the plains of Moab, just across the Jordan River. Moses gathers the people and recounts everything God has done, not because they do not know the story, but because remembering is essential to living faithfully. He reminds them of God's rescue from Egypt, his provision in the wilderness, his victories over enemies, and his patient guidance. Remembering becomes an act of worship, the foundation of faithfulness. A major theme in Deuteronomy is the centrality of the heart. Moses does not just tell the people to follow God, he tells them to love God with all their heart, soul, and strength. These words, known as the Shema, become the cornerstone of Jewish faith and a defining summary of God's desire for his people. Faith is not mechanical. It is relational. Another key theme is covenant loyalty. God invites Israel into a relationship rooted in love, trust, and commitment. But covenant comes with choices. God sets before them blessings and curses, not as threats, but as realities tied to their decisions. Blessing flows from obedience. Destruction flows from rebellion. At the heart of this choice is God's plea: choose life so that you and your children may live. Deuteronomy also emphasizes generational discipleship. Moses calls parents to teach God's commands diligently, in the home, on the road, morning and night. Faith is meant to be passed on intentionally, woven into everyday life. The survival of Israel's identity depends on the spiritual faithfulness of each generation. The book also presents God's character with remarkable tenderness. He is the God who carried Israel as a father carries his son. He is the God who goes before them, fights for them, and provides for them. He is the God who defends the widow, the orphan, and the foreigner. His laws are not burdens, they are blessings designed for flourishing. Moses also warns against forgetting God once life becomes comfortable. Prosperity can be more spiritually dangerous than hardship. Moses urges Israel to remember that every blessing comes from God and to guard their hearts from pride, idols, and self-reliance. The end of Deuteronomy is deeply emotional and profoundly epic. Moses appoints Joshua as his successor, sings a prophetic song over Israel, and blesses each tribe individually. Then God leads Moses up Mount Nebo, where he sees the Promised Land from a distance. He will not enter it, but he sees it with eyes of faith. Moses dies there, full of years and full of God's presence, leaving behind a legacy of obedience, courage, and unwavering devotion. As you journey through Deuteronomy, listen for the themes that echo into your own life. Remember what God has done. Gratitude strengthens faith. Love God deeply, not mechanically. God's commands are meant for your good, not your restriction. Blessing grows where obedience takes root. Faith is meant to be passed on to others. God's presence sustains you in transition. You always have a choice. Choose life. Deuteronomy matters deeply to believers today because we live in a world full of shifting voices and competing loyalties. Deuteronomy calls us back to a simple, powerful foundation. Remember God, love God, obey God, walk with God, trust God, choose God. It is also a book that points directly to Jesus. Jesus quotes Deuteronomy more than any other Old Testament book. He resists Satan in the wilderness using its words. He identifies the Shema as the greatest commandment. And like Moses, Jesus becomes the mediator of a better covenant, one written not on stone tablets, but on human hearts. As we begin this portion of the journey, Deuteronomy invites you to embrace a life shaped by remembrance, rooted in love, strengthened by obedience, and anchored in the goodness of God. Follow along with us each day as we journey through Deuteronomy together. This is Day 48. This is Deuteronomy, and this is His Time. Every day, all year.